Hello, world. Richard Carver here on day 176 of sobriety after I spent 20 years of my life high. What's good? Oh man, what a day. Kate and I slept in until 3:30 in the afternoon and it was awesome. It was so needed. So needed. Deep sleep, nice deep long sleep. Now granted, we didn't go to bed till like 3 or 4, something like that. So it's not like the amount of time is really skewed of like how long, but just the time of when is pretty out there. But so we did that for a bit. Had a good chill time waking up, getting at him. And then my buddy Jake came by, and we had a great jam session where we played through a bunch of different music that I'm going to be playing. Honestly, like next weekend already. So I ended up taking another gig with the band It's All Good. I'll be playing bass with them at a venue much closer to my house this time. I won't have to go all the way to Virginia, just 20 minutes south. And that's going to be cool. It's like a beautiful on the water type gig on July 5th. So I don't know if this town is going to have fireworks at all or if it's going to be going on that night, but that would be cool. And then let's see, after that, after he headed out, Kate and I made some dinner, which was really not too long ago, even though it's 12:50 in the evening. And now I'm here with you all. I'm ready to get some chill on, answer some questions, and read some CIA documents. Just have a good little time with y'all. So without further ado, the questions I got for you tonight are as follows. This is a big one, though. Are you ready for this question? Because this is hard, I think. Would you rather live one life for 1,000 years? Or would you rather 10 separate lives of 100 years apiece? I would choose one life for 1,000 years. I want to live 1,000 years now. I don't know that I will not live 1,000 years. Maybe I will. Maybe they'll have consciousness downloading into computers by then. I really hope so. What about you? Let me know how you guys are feeling. I'm going to ask Kate this question over there. What do you think? Would you rather live one life for 1,000 years, or would you like to have 10 separate lives where you could live 100 years for each one of those lives? One life for 1,000? Yeah, that's the way. We might live over 100 years as we are now. Let's hope for it, There's a bunch of different people that live over 100 nowadays. So I think we're both picking one life over 1,000. Next question. This is a little different than yesterday's, but still a play on it. Would you rather taste colors or smell sounds? This one I'm going to the taste colors one. Taste colors or smell sounds. Yeah.
I almost feel like we already can taste colors in a way.
You can already taste colors?
No, but like because of candy, everything has been
kind of drilled in,
yeah,
like Pavlov's dog almost. Or there are people that can taste. Is it colors or is it sound? Maybe they see sound and they can taste. I know there's some that can see sound.
they see colors when they hear things or something.
There's some people have some types of stuff with that, but I don't think they can taste color. I don't know. Is there anyone that can taste colors? I don't think so, but I would taste colors if I could. I'd be down with that because it doesn't mean you have to taste everything all the time.
Yeah.
Unless because this is white light and it's all of the colors at once, am I always tasting something? I don't know. I feel like it would get to some type of like neutral place where like one smell, you don't smell that smell all the time. You kind of just have like a normal smell and then you can smell something beyond it. But if somebody walked into the room, they could smell that smell a little bit more. Breaking Bad or Sopranos? This is a hard one. Have you
I've not
seen?
Sopranos.
You haven't seen Sopranos.
I didn't get to finish Breaking Bad either. I'm the worst with finishing shows. Breaking Bad though.
You'd pick Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Now, is it just Breaking Bad, or would it also include? It doesn't say Breaking Bad universe, but would it also include, Better Call Saul? Have you seen Better Call Saul?
No, but I heard that one was good.
Oh, you'd really like it, I think. Better Call Saul is equally good as Breaking Bad. There's a lot more content to Breaking Bad. I'd pick Sopranos. So, it's just so deep. Like, so is Breaking Bad. Not to take anything from Breaking Bad,
That's true.
but something about it. I don't know. Something about Sopranos sticks with you for a while. Breaking Bad is very intense while watching it, and still great, still amazing. I love Breaking Bad. But yeah, something about Sopranos. Yeah, I'm picking Sopranos on here. All right, next question. Analog or digital? You guys going to be recording on tape, or you going to be recording on Pro Tools, where you can do a lot of stuff to it? I choose analog, yet I have a very digital setup. But I do have a tape recorder. What do you think?
I feel like I don't have a lot of experience on either of them, but I think analog would be fun, because that's my goal, is to like have. Well, if I have cassettes, it'll probably be from like a digitally.
That's the thing. Digital master, then you can still put on cassette.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of great benefits to digital.
Yeah. I don't know. I think just for like creative purposes, it would be fun to do analog.
Analog fan here too. Sound or silence? What do you guys think? Would you rather there be sound all the time or silence all the time?
See sound, but it's nice with sleep that you don't require like a fan or anything, because everyone I've like ever known always has to have a fan. Even my children need like noise when they're sleeping, and I like prefer the silence when I'm sleeping. Or having a TV show on, so I guess that is sound.
I'm silence all the way. I love the silence. Good. I definitely love it. I walk around with my AirPods in with the noise cancellation in all the time, just to have even more complete silence. Silence in the house already, and then AirPods with noise canceling. It is just the brain. But yeah, I'd pick silence over it. In fact, I would love to try that silent room. I think it's in New Jersey.
Oh yeah.
Is it Bell Laboratories? Like the company Bell. I think it is. Could be wrong on the exact name, but I'd be down to check that room out. But apparently it's so quiet that you hear your own blood pumping in your head, which would be pretty wild.
That would be cool.
I might have one more. Do I have one more? Yeah, I have one more. One more for you. Conundrum of the century. Watermelon or grape? It's a hard one. Because, when you choose, this is for the win. I mean, if you choose one of these things, the other one ceases to exist. So it's like a forever thing. If you choose one, you can never have the other. I love both. But we gotta choose for real, though. Watermelon, but grape, I choose watermelon.
See, it works a lot of watermelon. Actually, no, that's not true. I'd say a lot of watermelon flavored things, aside from the actual watermelon, I don't like it as much.
Oh yeah, we can kick those
But
artificial ones out. We can say
yeah,
that this is we can keep it.
restricting strictly watermelon or grapefruits.
Yeah, that can be green, or the grape purple
Watermelon.
ones. Yeah,
I love
I love watermelon. Oh my gosh, I'll kill a whole watermelon by myself. It's bad. My belly looks like a watermelon
watermelon.
afterwards.
Yeah.
It's, I'll just park it.
They're so good.
It's
Yeah.
chill.
Can't stop either.
Hey. There we go. All right, that concludes our question section of the evening.
What is that? What a puppet.
That's just what they used to be. There's titles for what they had been, and so I just pop them in there. I don't remember what it was before. But that is our question part. And now I'm going to hop on over to Reddit for a little bit before we jump on to some CIA documents for the evening. Let's see what we got. We got Trump standing next to an actual 6 foot tall person, even though Trump goes by 6'2", I think is what his stuff says. Is that what it is? Interesting.
If Medicare for All is enacted, there are more than 600,000 union members here, Michigan, who would be forced
I've
to
watched
give up
this
their
before. Like, I would watch it real time. There's no need to be all upset because we all wanted Bernie. But, well, yeah, we should definitely have a 4-day work week. Bernie says that if AI makes us so productive, we should get a 4-day work week. Let's go. Got him. Yeah. That reminds me of the character in Adventure Time, Lemon Squeeze. What is his name? That's awesome. There was a person that was denied entry over a JD Vance meme, and I didn't know what meme it was, and it's awesome that it's the bald-headed JD Vance meme. And this is rough. What if I told you that officers' widespread use of masks is unprecedented in U.S. law enforcement and a sign of a rapidly eroding United States democracy? Yep. Scary. What's that?
It was my iPad and I thought you said Siri.
Oh,
That's
wow.
Scary. That was weird.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
That'd be scary to do.
Yeah.
Little Pink Panther candy.
Looks like Pink Panther sushi.
It does look like Pink Panther sushi. Wow. Yeah, this is crazy. With the impeachment stuff that was brought up, 128 Democrats decided not to vote for it. Well, that's cool. 6-year-old daughter's painting. Well, she is quite talented. A Highland cow baby. Whoa. Can we get them to stop growing at that size?
Oh. So cute. Cool.
What? MAGA has a depraved new plan for Democratic star Zoran Mamdani, the guy who just got the New York mayor stuff. Influential right-wing groups are calling on President Trump to deport the young progressive who just won New York City's
Oh my
Democratic
God.
mayoral
Get
race.
outta here.
What in the world? How can they do that? Well, they do whatever they want. The New York Young Republican Club, NYYRC, took to X, begging Trump immigration advisors Stephen Miller and Tom Homan to revoke Mamdani's U.S. citizenship and deport him. Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
They said it could be the playbook for all future opponents and voters. Someone said, Young Republican Club, ... These douchebags are never getting laid in New York. And someone else said, I was in the Teenage Republicans Club back in the 90s. I can confirm. Well, depending on what teenage is, you know. Might be normal. I'm going to check out Popular and see what's going on in Popular. How's there now Pink Panther music behind a seal thing? We just saw Pink
Yeah.
Panther candy. Man, sea lions are cool, but they're scary. About to bully him off of a chair. Let's see it. Oh. Uh-oh. Well, don't put your foot in his face then. Yeah, that is my chair. This is my chair. That was my towel, bro. Why are you taking my towel? You know, if he would have just sat there, maybe he could have got sea lion cuddles.
Right.
Like, why did he start putting his foot up in the first place?
Oh.
See, you started it, bro. You could have had a cuddle right there. Oh, and then you just flung the towel. That guy sucks.
He sucks. This is one of those animals that is just like confusing to me.
All right, let's check out the Popular real quick. What do we got? No, I wanted our Popular. What's a dark truth people aren't ready to hear? Let's check it out. What we got, yo? Being good at your job doesn't guarantee you'll keep it. Yep. Being good at your job doesn't guarantee your employer will treat you good. Penguins can get depressed. Anarchist scientists have observed emperor penguins, males in particular, who just give up. They will stop eating, disregard their colony, and head inland towards the starvation and certain death. Yeah, those are the ones that just keep walking towards the mountains, and they'll walk past the scientists and everything. And if you drop them back in their colony, they'll just walk right back out.
Huh.
No one knows why they do this. No one's bothered to autopsy the bodies because it's Antarctica, and they have better things to do than just cut open frozen poultry. Just know that male emperor penguins will get depressed and commit suicide via exposure and starvation. It's true.
I think it's because they're sitting on the babies all day long. They get like super, super exhausted.
Some type of male loneliness epidemic in penguins. A lot of Americans are 1 or 2 missed paychecks away from being homeless. Well, Redditors give bad generic advice. Yep. I've seen that too. Especially in the relationship threads. It's always leave the person. Which sometimes is true, but also, like, how about communication? There will always be someone better than you at everything you ever attempt to do. Yeah. You are not the main character, or more accurately, everyone is the main character of their own story, but your story isn't more important than anyone else's. All right. Let us see. Am I overreacting? Boyfriend trying to start a fight over me putting my sock in his hamper. This isn't mine. It's mine. It's a men's sock, and you put it in my laundry. I have a matching one in the dresser. It's mine. No, we can talk about it later then. There's nothing really to talk about. I'm driving right now. I'm not fighting with you over a sock. Right. I'll stay somewhere else tonight. That's not necessary. But if that's the way you feel and need to do, I won't force you. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Maybe they thought originally that was like they were cheating and there was a men's sock because of it. Oh, that's awesome. They ordered balloons and they said fuck cancer on the balloons, and the person selling the balloons refunded the money but still sent them. I mean, it's not all that great. That's the way that grass like looks when you go one direction and then the next. Craziness. A word crow's like, nah, I'm not done getting brushed. Give me that. Yo, come on now, bro. Get back to brushing me. So smart. Been here a lot longer than us.
That's so cute.
Realizing in 20 years I'll probably be up to some boomer stuff like, no son of mine is marrying an AI chatbot. Marriage is between two humans only. And my kids will be like, oh my god, Dad, you're so robophobic. Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
That one came off of my feed too.
So bad. Oh yeah, this concept of a plan. Yep. No, not that anybody would have it. He just said that today at the NATO summit. Said that because they asked him, I thought you said that you'd have the Ukraine and Russian war done and over with by now. And he's like, ending the war is more difficult than people would ever have any idea. I was like, no, we all knew. But always like, Biden, if I was president, wouldn't even happen. Because he would have let Russia just overtake him, never given Ukraine any type of protection. And George Washington was rolling in it. George Washington died with a net worth of $594.2 million in today's money. Drew a presidential salary of $25,000, which is $900K today.
And the boat chicken. What your son has done? I love my daddy. He had a bow tie chicken. What your son has done?
Get up there, my Adonis! He's got my buzzer off the ledge upstairs. He's given himself a full wood.
Just grew his hair back, he's going to have no hair, he's going to have a skin tape.
I've got a bald head, father like son.
Oh, that's horrendous. That is absolutely terrible.
I shaved all of the middle off because I wanted to be like my dad.
Nice. Heck yeah, drive around with your chicken, bro. Gonna do something that's all still together. I don't know. Whoa, that's amazing. Mom Donnie says he would arrest Netanyahu if he visits New York City. That would be incredible. Do it. Do it. Bro. Bro. Oh no, bro. It literally couldn't have gone worse. Like, why not? Why aren't you slapping my butt? Oh my gosh, this is gonna be wild.
They're so crazy.
Yep.
Wild. Oh no. Oh my gosh. No, don't do it, bro. Well, I guess like once you're that far, you got to keep going.
Yeah.
Phew. Wow, that's amazing and terrible. Bill Murray threw me a rose at this gig, but then a guy nearby snatched the flower off of it. So now I have a sentimental twig. Yeah, right. Don't threaten me with a good time. This is an image MAGA is posting to stoke fear of Mamdani. But the list of things sound awesome. As in, you would freeze the rent, build affordable housing, would create city-owned grocery stores and fare-free buses, would expand and protect gender-affirming care citywide, make New York City an LGBTQI+ sanctuary city, and labor raise the minimum wage to $30 by 2030, and would end ICE cooperation. Right? Like, all sounds fantastic. Ridiculous. Oh, orange cats are the best.
When I adopted Poe, I was going between him and this other cat that had just gone. He was an orange cat, and he had just gotten like surgery on his eyelids. So his eyes, he had these long like lashes, and he always looked like he's just like staring into your soul because of the way his eyes were from the surgery. And it was so cute. But he was a little aggressive, so I was worried about him around the kids, so I didn't get him. But cat foot.
And the power play, they surely will put that pressure on. Oh, no. That's gonna cost production.
Yeah, it's Poe.
That's the kind of
Poe on my
like
legs.
Yeah. Oh, cats. I missed them. Orange cats apparently are actually different. They have some gene
That's what
in
I
them.
hear.
Yeah. Look what I got for $1.25. Jeez.
When your question is actually...
Come on now. Alright, we're gonna wrap it up on Reddit. And I'm gonna head over to the CIA files for a little bit there. There we go. Couldn't get down to the W's the other day. Yikes. Damn ants. Bros, you suck.
Кажется, сейчас будет шок-контент.
Those are all mosquitoes? Oh my gosh.
Я что?
Whoa. Oh my gosh, they're huge mosquitoes. Why?
Продолжать поход.
You guys are Scrooged. Oh, I see. I didn't notice the dude underneath. Oh, poor buddy. It's getting a ton of dust on him. Oh yeah, this guy's everywhere right now. Oh yeah, millions of spiders on the tree, yep. They all like daddy long legs. It's wild. Wild. Wow.
Whoa.
Bunch of foam. The ground buckling because of the heat yesterday. Oops. Keep on triggering the one underneath.
Oh, no.
All right, I'll jump in, do a little bit of CIA reading for a little bit. I'm gonna maybe hold off doing the Stargate one because I'm gonna make those into standalones. But let's see if we can't find some other one. I wonder what one we can find here. I feel like the 1973 Arab-Israeli War might have something good, because we're just going through something like that. I don't know, maybe it would be boring. Declassified documents related to the 9/11 attacks. General CIA records, Guatemala. Argentine Declassification Project, the Dirty War. During the Argentine government's 7-year campaign against suspected dissidents and subversives, often known as the Dirty War, between 10 and 30,000 people were killed, including opponents of the government, as well as innocent victims. The military junta that ousted President Isabel Perón in a coup in 1976 confronted an urban-based leftist insurgency that had been intensifying for several years and had moved beyond attacking government targets to include kidnappings and killings of persons with no official connections with no particular ideology. Soon after it seized power, the junta closed the national legislature, imposed censorship, banned trade unions, and brought state and municipal governments under military control. It has also instituted the infamous process of national reorganization in an attempt to suppress the left-wing guerrilla activity that was rampant by early 1976. Part of the process of national reorganization involved setting up a system of over 300 secret prisons for detaining anyone suspected of being subversive. Besides the violent militants, the government claimed it was protecting the country from students, educators, trade unionists, writers, journalists, artists, left-wing activists, members of the clergy, and alleged sympathizers of anti-regime elements and their families. Also were among the tens of thousands of disappeared who were apprehended at night and taken to the detention centers where they were interrogated and often tortured and killed. At first, much of the Argentine public supported the crackdown as necessary for restoring order, but within a few years, growing evidence of human rights violations evoked opposition to the government's methods, perhaps most notably from the mothers of the Plaza de Mayo, who had lost children in the Dirty War. Their weekly vigils in the Plaza de Mayo, fronting the presidential palace, brought an international attention to the disappeared. The regime was able to suppress most opposition, however, through strict censorship and curfews and a generalized fear of the secret police. By 1980, nearly all insurgent activity had ceased, and the most brutal aspects of the Dirty War, including the disappearances, were subsiding. Well, yeah, because you killed them all. The Argentine government's domestic and international standing suffered, however, as revelations about its human rights record emerged, along with growing evidence of corruption. It tried to restore its legitimacy with the Argentine people by seizing the Falkland Islands from Great Britain, but the failed campaign further discredited the regime and led to its fall in 1983. The new democratically elected government created the National Commission on the Disappearance of Persons in December 1983 to collect evidence about the Dirty War, beginning the decades-long process under which most of the perpetrators of the human rights violation during 76-83 were eventually brought to justice. Yeah, but I mean, those people are all still gone. What's this declassified stuff in 9/11? Inspection report of the DCI Counterterrorist Center Directorate of Operations in August of 2001. Joint response to draft IG 9/11 report, the memorandum to Inspector General Helgerson from George Tenet regarding assessment of performance, Office of Inspector General report on Central Intelligence Agency accountability regarding findings, response to Inspector General's 9/11 accountability final draft report, and joint response to the OIG report, accountability regarding findings and conclusions of the joint. How about we start at the bottom, actually? Wait, there's 490 pages in that one. Jeez, I don't think I'm going to get into that one, y'all. It's a bit heavy. Yeah. Even the 10 and the 18 are maybe not what I want to get into at the moment. Kind of just want to look at the UFO stuff down here. UFOs, fact or fiction? Wow, there's a lot here. do light phenomena east of Tashkent. It's 1952. This is wild, this document, huh? Of course, you got some blacked out information. Somebody's second interrogation. During the period from May to September 1947, 3 light phenomena happening at intervals of about 15 minutes were seen almost every night between 9 and 10. The phenomena were watched from the camp in wherever that camp is. A darkened ball of fire was seen first. Dark red ball of fire was seen first. After about 6 seconds, it reached the apex of a long, drawn-out trajectory. During this time, the ball had developed a trail of fire. Its color, which was bright red at the apex point, changed in color from pale green to white. Smoke trails, noises, or detonations were noticed. It's hard for me to care much. Not care. It's hard. It's probably the wrong word, but things that happened this long ago and are just based around lights are like, you know, why do we mind lights that much? Because lights, if it was some alien entity, I don't think they would be lighted. You know? I want to try and find one a little newer than that one. Unexplained objects. Flying saucers. USSR and satellites mention the flying saucers. I was going to go down here and click faraway pages. Maybe it's going to be newer. Oh, my camera keeps overheating. I don't have my other one plugged in because I unplugged a bunch of stuff today to plug in an AC unit. Unidentified flying objects in ancient China. That could be cool. Yo, what up, Oliver? Oliver Stringham in the chat. Why are you talking about CIA stuff? Because it's pretty interesting. This is the Freedom of Information Act, CIA.gov FOIA stuff. And this is all available to us for free online. It's all unclassified materials. It's just kind of neat to go through and see what's kind of available to the public, but just because, you know, media doesn't pick it up, you know, we're not really schooled too much on it. These are a little long, but I guess ancient China somehow talked about UFOs. I don't know. Maybe I don't want to read that one. But all of this stuff here in particular, this is just through the UFO tab itself. I'm going to have to plug this guy in elsewhere, y'all. All right. Here we are. We're back. Theory of scientific socialism should be developed in practice. Bolivia reports conflict on details of fallen object. Oliver in chat says, I actually just watched the new show, American Manhunt of Osama bin Laden. It was crazy. Where's that available, Oliver? What's wild about Osama is that he was very, like, westernized, right? You know, I remember he had... What music did he have on his computer? Let's just see. Oh, it doesn't say he had mainstream music. Never mind. Thought that he did. Maybe that was this meme land. It's on Netflix. The Osama documentary, Netflix. He survived and hid 10 years and then got killed at his house on May 2nd, 2011. So wild. (1976), there was this aerial observation of intense source of light. An unusual incident was observed during September 10th, 1976, British European Airways on a flight 831 from Moscow to London. Between 1800 and 1900 hour, the aircraft was cruising at an altitude of 33,000 feet, apparently inside the border of Lithuania, when a blinding single source, constant intensity, and stationary light was observed off the starboard flight path of the aircraft. The light's distance was estimated to be approximately 10 to 15 miles off of the aircraft's path and approximately 5,000 to 6,000 feet below the aircraft, somewhat above a lower cloud layer. The light, which resembled a sodium vapor lamp, which was yellowish in color and was too intense to view directly for any period of time, completely lit the top of the lower cloud, giving it a glowing cast. The light was of such interest that the BEA pilot came onto the aircraft's intercom network, stated that he was somewhat concerned over its presence, and said he had asked the Soviet authorities for an identification of its source. The Soviet authorities came back with a negative identification response, suggesting that he should not ask questions. The light was observed for approximately 10 to 15 minutes until the aircraft had flown past and left the light source behind. Interesting. And that's the end. So that was it. That's just one of many of these documents that are saying that they see, different UFO things, Hey, night, Oliver. original Wizards of Langley. This overview and collection of documents and other material related to the Office of Scientific Intelligence offer a glimpse of the CIA's overall contribution to the analysis of Soviet capabilities in science and technology during the Cold War. No means intended to be definitive or even complete with respect to all the activities associated with the agency's scientific and technological capabilities, analysis, and resulting reporting. It does, however, highlight some key events and selected activities that contribute to our understanding of the unique role OSI played in the agency's history. It's a symposium commemorating 60 years of S&T intelligence analysis, even as a cover. So this is just deep diving into Soviet's abilities. Looks like we have a timeline here. Interesting. OSS timeline. September 18th, 1947, CIA officially created. September 49, Soviet Union explodes its first atomic bomb. When did we first explode ours again? Interesting. Document after document. Muy. Alright, I think what I'll end up doing is, for the Stargate stuff here, which I do want to read all the way through the Stargate stuff, I'll want to make a standalone. But I kind of want to read some of this. The Gateway Experience, Brain Hemisphere, Synchronization, and Perspective. 1. Introduction. In order to describe the Monroe Institute technique for achieving altered states of consciousness, the Gateway Experience, involving brain hemisphere synchronization or hemisync, the most effective way to begin is to briefly profile the basic mechanics which underlay operation of related methods such as hypnosis, transcendental meditation, and biofeedback. It is easiest to effectively describe what Gateway is by beginning with a short description of those associated techniques that share some common aspects with the Gateway Experience, but which are nevertheless different. In this way, we can develop a frame of reference at the outset, which will provide useful concepts to explain and understand Gateway by comparison as we proceed. Hypnosis. According to the theories of psychologist Ronald Stone and the biomedical engineering models of Ishtok Bentov, hypnosis is basically a technique which permits acquisition of direct access to the sensory motor cortex and pleasure centers and lower cerebral emotional portions and associated pleasure centers of the right side of the human brain following successful disengagement of the stimulus screening function of the left hemisphere of the brain. The left hemisphere of the brain is a self-cognitive, verbal, and linear reasoning component of the mind. It fulfills the function of screening incoming stimuli by categorizing, assessing, and assigning meaning prior to allowing passage to the right hemisphere of the mind. The right hemisphere, which functions as the non-critical, holistic, non-verbal, and pattern-oriented component of the brain, appears to accept what the left hemisphere passes to it without question. Consequently, if the left hemisphere can be distracted either through boredom or through reduction to a soporific semi-sleep state, external stimuli to include through reduction hypnotic suggestions are allowed to pass unchallenged to the right hemisphere where they are accepted and acted upon directly. The result may involve an emotional reaction originating in the lower cerebral region, sensory motor responses requiring involvement of the cortex, and so on. Both the sensory and the motor cortexes of the right cerebral portion of the brain contain a sequence of points known as the homunculus, which corresponds to points in the body. Stimulation of the corresponding area on the cortex causes intermediate response in the associated portion of the body. Consequently, induction of the suggestion that the left leg is numb, if it reaches the right hemisphere unchallenged and is referred to the appropriate area of the sensory cortex, will result in an electrical reaction being generated that will induce the feeling of numbness. Similarly, the suggestion that the person is experiencing a general feeling of happiness and well-being would be referred to the appropriate pleasure centers located in the lower cerebral portion or in the cortex of the right hemisphere, thereby inducing the suggested feeling of euphoria. Finally, the suggestion, such as one that informs the hypnotic subject that he enjoys enhanced concentration or powers of memory, would be responded to in the right hemisphere by accessing unused information, storage capacity normally held in reserve as a result of left hemisphere selection and control processes. This aspect will become significant in the context of the gateway process when attention is given to examining the way that hypnosis may be used to accelerate progress in the early stages of the gateway experience. 3. Transcendental meditation, which is really interesting because that's where David Lynch's big, amounts of work has been put towards. Let's see what is going off in my Discord. Guess not anything to me. Not sure where it was coming from. Oh, Jim. Nice. It's coming from my boy Jim. Hey Jim, if you're out there, great hearing from you, man. I'll try and perform some of these songs to you. yeah, if you guys have any type of requested songs for me to do tomorrow night on Thursday, absolutely let me know. Dogs. Alright, jumping back on this, we see that when transcendental meditation is, on the other hand, transcendental meditation works in a distinctly different fashion. In this technique, intense and protracted single-minded concentration on the process of drawing energy up the spinal cord ultimately results in what appears to be creation of acoustical standing waves in the cerebral ventricles, which are then conducted to the gray matter in the cerebral cortex on the right side of the brain. As a result, according to Bentov, these waves will stimulate and eventually polarize the cortex in such a way that it will tend to conduct a signal along the homunculus, starting from the toes and on up. The Bentov biomedical model, as described in a book by Lee Sanella entitled Kundalini Psychosis or Transcendence, states that the standing acoustical waves are the result of the altered rhythm of heart sounds, which are occasioned by prolonged practice of meditation, and which set up sympathetic vibrations in the walls of the fluid-filled cavities which comprise the third. I was just reading another Discord chat there. In addition, according to Bentov, the states of bliss described by those whose Kundalini symptoms have completed the full loop along the hemispheres may be explained as a self-stimulation of the pleasure centers in the brain caused by the circulation of a current along the sensory cortex. Bentov also notes that most of the described symptoms start on the left side of the body, means that it is mostly a development occurring in the right hemisphere. Although normally a period of meditation involving intense concentration and practice for 5 years or some is required to bring up the Kundalini, Bentov states that exposure to mechanical or acoustical vibrations in the range of 4 to 7 Hertz cycles per second for protracted periods may achieve the same effect. Bentov cites as an example repeated riding in a car whose suspensions and seat combination produce that range of vibrations or being exposed for long periods of time to those frequencies caused, for instance, by an air conditioning duct. He also notes that the cumulative effect of these vibrations may be able to trigger a spontaneous physio-kundalini sequence in susceptible people who have a particularly sensitive nervous system. I love all of this stuff. This feels great. It's amazing. And just on bullet point 4 of, let's see, 28, how many more we got? 38. So in conclusion, we'll wait to do the conclusion. We'll have it go all the way through first. Secretary of Defense, parentheses, war, Pete Hegseth, together with military representatives, will be holding a major news conference tomorrow at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon in order to fight for the dignity of our great American pilots. These patriots were very upset after 36 hours of dangerously flying through the air. I can't even read them. Whoa. This person got engaged on Ronet's Bridge. It's pretty wild. It's still up and about. Fix your hearts or die. Why is this like this? Are they just blotting out the sun? This is a JSWT or JWST image of a new planet. Why is it like that? Astronomers using the James Webb Space Telescope have captured compelling evidence of a planet with a mass similar to Saturn orbiting the young nearby star TWA7. If confirmed, this would represent Webb's first direct image discovery of a planet and the lightest planet ever seen with this technique. Murderer's Last Meals. This was Ronnie Lee Gardner. Burglary, robbery, 2 counts of murder, firing squad. Got a lobster tail, steak, apple pie, vanilla ice cream, and wanted to eat it while watching Lord of the Rings trilogy. Steven Anderson, 49 years old, from California, burglary, assault, escaped prison, 7 counts of murder. Died from lethal injection, asked for 2 grilled cheese sandwiches, a pint of cottage cheese, a hominy corn mixture, peach pie, chocolate chip ice cream, and radishes. That's an interesting last meal. Ferdinando Nicola Sacco, and Bartolomeo Vanzetti, 36 and 39, in Massachusetts, 2 counts of murder, got the electric chair. They had soup, meat, toast, and tea. Timothy McVeigh. Wow, I guess a part of me didn't realize that he was put to death. 33 years old, from Indiana, 168 counts of murder. Didn't he bomb, like, was it the Oklahoma something building, maybe? Was that the thing? He wanted 2 pints of mint chocolate chip ice cream. Wow. Ricky Ray Rector, 42 years old, Arkansas, 2 counts of murder, died from lethal injection, asked for steak, fried chicken, cherry Kool-Aid, and pecan pie. He left the pecan pie, telling a guard he was saving it for later. Wow. Whoa. Victor Feguer? 28 years old, Iowa, kidnap and murder, hanged by the neck. Had a single olive with the pit in it. This is a weird last meal, y'all. Ronnie Threadgill, 40 years old, from Texas. Lethal injection for murder. Had baked chicken, mashed potatoes with country gravy, vegetables, sweet peas, bread, tea, water, and punch. Oh, I see. There was no more last meal by 2011, so he was given the same as everybody else in his unit. Teresa Lewis, 41, Virginia, murder, conspiracy, and robbery, died from lethal injection, had fried chicken, peas with butter, apple pie, and Dr. Pepper. Man, this would be hard. What would your last meal be, you know? Alan Lee Tiny Davis, 54 years old, from Florida, robbery, 3 counts of murder, electric chair. He had lobster tail, fried potatoes, half pound of fried shrimp, 6 ounces of fried clams, half loaf of garlic bread, and 32 ounces of A&W root beer. That's getting a little closer to what I might like, you know, big seafood meal. You hear what I'm doing over here? I wasn't sure if you were awake for any of that. John Wayne Gacy, 52 years old, Illinois. Grapes and murder, 33 counts, lethal injection, had 12 fried shrimp, a whole bucket of original recipe KFC chicken, French fries, and a pound of strawberries. Ted Bundy, 35 counts of murder, grapes, necrophilia, prison escape, died from the electric chair, declined a special meal but was given the traditional last meal, which was steak, eggs, hash browns, toast with butter, jelly, milk, and juice. And that is our last meal compilation there. And it is now past 2 a.m. So that's going to be us for the night, everybody. Thank you guys for watching the stream. I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. Don't wind up picking out a last meal from a prison. Have it your way. Outside of prison. Does pose an interesting question. I want to think about what my last meal would be. Might ask you guys that tomorrow night. But between now and then, please take care of yourselves. You deserve it. Peace and love, everybody.